What is MFL Pack? Today we're going to be talking about a situation that I find absolutely disgusting, and that is the Goosework situation. So I have made myself very clear that I love the amazing digital circus, even if I don't primarily do content on them or I barely do content on them. I still very much enjoy the digital circus. However, I cannot ignore what has been going on Twitter anymore. Like, I haven't been trying to, but I'm just saying that what's going on Twitter is absolutely disgusting. So let's get into it. So, Gooseworks has came out on Twitter and apologized for not exactly being active on Twitter like she usually is. You know, classic indie dev type of stuff where it's like they actually interact with their fans, but when they don't, they feel bad about it. I know that feeling because I'm a small creator, and if I don't respond to people who watch my stuff, I know that I feel terrible. But sometimes my notifications just do not work. But that's not the situation that we're in here. Gooseworks says that the stress of making the finale has been weighing heavily on her, and that's why she has been almost inactive on social media because she's focusing on that, and there's also like a stress factor, and then obviously the pressure of like trying to please everyone with the finale is like weighing heavily on her, which, to be fair, seeing some of the fan base, I can understand that. Unfortunately, I think that we're looking at a has-been hotel situation here. You know what I mean? Where the digital circus fan base has officially become just they've basically become the has-been hotel fan base, where if something doesn't go their way or their headcanon doesn't get realized, they just cannot cope with it. And don't even lie, do not even lie. That does happen. I didn't mean to give that to him. Anyway, sorry, I'm playing Stardew. I'm playing Stardew in real time. This does not mean that I'm not doing a series on Stardew. I plan to, but anyway. I just needed background gameplay, so I'm playing on my old world. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, that's why Gooseworks has not been active on Twitter. They're saying that they're trying to write a cohesive story, and I don't remember what she said to trigger people's anger. I will hold on. Let me look at this. Okay, so hold on, y'all. I'm looking it up. I swear. I'm sorry. Okay, so basically everybody was dogging on Gooseworks for not developing the other characters nearly as much as Jackson Pomni, and they were literally criticizing her for that. and Gooseworks just broke down because that's not true at all. She says, okay, so here's what somebody said. The problem isn't Pomni and Jax, it's the sudden exclusion of Ragatha. Which I assume this is like a, I think this is a no, Reddit, okay. So there's a Reddit post that I assume was talking about, the fans being crazy about Pomni and Jax. And it, Gooseworks says, do people think Ragatha's not going to have any development in the final 2 episodes? And then somebody says, that's not enough time in 2 episodes to redeem Jax. And then somebody... Oh, is this... Okay, so... This is the same person. Goose said, what if the show was about someone who's too stubborn to give up on somebody who's too stubborn to be saved? That would be crazy. And then I think this is Goose. Oh my god, why is this sub full of horny posting about what would Goose think? Meanwhile, Goose is commissioning stuff from her friends like this. Pick related. Stop the moral crusading. It is a moderately horny fandom. That's okay. We haven't gone full Homestuck. It wasn't a commission. It was an art trade. And then, yeah, so people are being really harsh towards Goose. And it's just so awful, man. It really is. And then, Goose comes out and says, I'm so stressed all the time. I want to feel creative passion again. I'm trying my hardest to make this show good. I'm sorry about anything I've said on my streams. I really don't want to hurt anyone. And then she says, sorry for the breakdown earlier. I honestly haven't been behaving very professionally on social media, so I think I need to step back from it and reevaluate my priorities. To clarify, this isn't really about criticism. You should be able to criticize the show without feeling guilty. I had a lot building up on my mind, combined with intense burnout and pressure to make the finale perfect. In the end, I'm the one who snapped, so I should reflect. It's honestly disgusting, the fact that Goose is the one apologizing to us, to the fan base, because the fan base can't handle that their headcanon is not canon. It's just that, it's a headcanon. The fact that people are losing their minds because Jax and Pomni are the main characters is insane to me. And it honestly disgusts me. Why is Gooseworks the one apologizing? Hey, guys. Crazy thought here. Main characters exist. I know. Crazy concept. That a show has main characters so it doesn't feel dry and stale. Crazy, I know, right? That's such a crazy thing. You're telling me the digital circus that is a TV show at the end of the day. It's not just some random series, like, it's not like Goosebumps where it's like, oh, one episode is a story and then another is a story. You're telling me that a series like that, a series that has characters that are very established throughout the entire show, has main characters? Oh my god. I've never heard of such blasphemy. Oh, Gooseworks, you're insane. Like, bro, it's so stupid. Like, Jax and Pomni are the main characters. That doesn't mean that the other characters won't have character development. We literally had Gangle. We have an entire episode of Gangle finding herself. Like, did we forget about that? But people are gonna be like, oh my god, this is the Jackson Pomni show. Just because you don't get what you want, crybabies, I tell you. I'm telling you, they are just a bunch of crybabies. Like, there's a lot of headcanons in my favorite shows that I wish happened. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of headcanons in shows that I thought, but they never really go well. In fact, 99% of the time, I'm wrong about the headcanons. But do you see me going on Twitter raving to the creators about how they need to make the characters exactly in my image? No, because it's not my creation. If I wanted something to be the way I want it to be so bad, if I want characters to go my way, and I wanted to make characters in my own image, I would literally just write a book myself or make a show myself. That's exactly why I'm working on a comic book right now, because there's a lot of animes and animated shows out there that I would love for them to go in a direction of my choosing, but they don't, because that's the point of a show. If you were able to choose the path of somebody, if you were able to tell the story, right? If you were able to say, oh, Jax and Pomni date, that would remove any fun that the show has, wouldn't it? Like, the whole fun of TV shows isn't just the characters. It's also being surprised on the actions that happen throughout the show. I mean, if we knew that Carl died in one of the seasons of The Walking Dead, or if we knew that Joel died, do you really think people would give a crap about the media that they're talking about? Of course not, because they already know, and they wouldn't even play the game because obviously there's no surprises. If the media were to control everything, that would lose the fun of creating shows in the first place. That is the truth about the world, is that us not being able to create the world or not being able to choose the path for characters, that's what makes shows fun. Because if you're able to predict the path of characters, or if you're able to point stuff in a direction and then go, the show would feel so stale after a while. You know what I mean? Sorry. And it's just so disgusting, bro. And it's very unfortunate that Gooseworks is the one that's apologizing and not like the fans. Just awful, man. Now here's my pitch for Gooseworks. if if 2 episodes really is not enough, if if you want to, obviously, I would like a season 2 for Digital Circus, but I also understand that because they're literally stressed about a season 1. You really think they're going to continue on to make multiple seasons? Of course not. Not with the current state of the fan base. There's 2 episodes left of Digital Circus. Do I think that's enough time to have character development for a character? If you're good enough at writing, yes. But it's a very, very hard time frame. I do agree with the fan on that. Can't even really call them a fan if they're making Gooseworks breakdown. I do agree with the statement that 2 episodes is not enough to have an entire character development. I agree with that. That's why I think that there needs to be a season 2, or there should be a season 2. Again, of course, it's not my media, so if Gooseworks decides to cut it off at just the season 1, completely understandable. But I would like a season 2. And the season 2 can focus on other characters. Maybe even adding on characters. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I think the fans have ruined the chance for a season 2. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I don't think season 2 is going to happen. Because the fans are, you know, because the fans ruined it. How do I think season 2 could work? Since the main characters of this season are Pomni and Jax, confirmed by Goosework, you could write season 2 to be more about Ragatha character development and Gangle and Zubal's character development. The only thing is that they've had character development throughout the series. Even if the spotlight wasn't completely on them, they still had character development. So I hate how people are just like jumping on the bandwagon of hating Gooseworks just because their headcanon is not going into fruition. I hate to break it to you all, but Funny Bunny is not happening. I'm sorry, it's not. Gooseworks said it themselves. Jax is asexual, aromantic. They are arrow ace. They do not mess with that type of stuff. And it makes sense. It makes sense that Jax is arrow ace. The guy barely likes friendships. You really think he's gonna let somebody into their pants? Like, come on, bro. Let's be realistic here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about briefly is a situation involving Michael Kovac. Now, despite my feelings about Michael Kovac, nobody deserves to go through what he's going through. And that is somebody trying to steal his identity. There's somebody named Michael Kovac VR who his entire identity is literally just Michael Kovac, as the name would suggest. And the issue is that he isn't just going around and voicing as Jax. He pretends to be Michael Kovac. He pretends to be Michael Kovac, and Michael, obviously, didn't take kindly to this and asked him to stop. And then Michael Kovac VR was saying like, oh, I'm not doing anything bad, I'm just doing an impression, blah blah blah. But Michael was like, bro, You're basically stealing my identity. You need to stop. But he wouldn't, so then Michael blocked him. And then Michael V, I'm going to call him Michael V. Michael K, Michael V. Michael V goes on VR chat and says Michael K is a pussy because he blocked him. Like, he just wants Michael K to unblock him. And it's just so disgusting. Even the Ragatha voice actor had to come onto VR chat and set the record straight, and he still decides to go as Jax. But here's the issue, is that it gets worse. You would think that the literal voice actor of the character you are trying to do an impression of, you'd think that when they say stop doing something, you do that, you stop doing that thing. Well, not for Michael V. Not for Michael V. He not only goes out and still steals his likeness, even after being told by countless people, countless officials, he still goes out and does the content. They've said numerous times that it's not the impressions that are the issue. It is literally the fact that he is naming himself Michael K. Michael Kovac. Which is absolutely insane. And then Michael V goes on to tell everybody that, guys, I'm clearly the best impressionist of Jax because Michael K blocked me because he was so intimidated by my voice. Brother, I hate to break it to you, but if the official voice actor blocks you, you're not a good voice actor. Because voice acting or doing a voice impression is recognizing that you are a fan of something enough to where you recognize the voice. It's not using the actor's likeness. But, you know, God forbid you learn from your mistakes, right? It's just so disgusting to me that this guy thinks that he is so tough. But it gets worse. Again, it gets worse. He, as Michael K's character, Jax, he takes his band of losers, his band of rejects, and goes around in VR chat harassing and bullying minors because they dare question him. This is similar to SML talks, but that's a video for another day. He goes around and has his band of losers harass and call the people dumb who even ask about this situation and question, like, hey, weren't you supposed to stop this? And then he was like, oh, blah blah blah. Oh, that's just you being stupid. And I do not know the future of this guy. I think he's still doing it to this day, and it's just disgusting. But yeah, those are the two biggest digital circus dramas that are happening. Just disgusting behavior by the community. And I honestly would not be surprised if Gooseworks just hard cuts off the digital circus. I would not blame her because people can just cannot handle themselves. But yeah, that was this video. Later this week I promise you guys, I will be getting back to The Walking Dead. I will be getting back to the actual series. I might start up GTA 6 alongside Resident Evil the Claire run, mainly because the Claire run is not meant to be like an actual series, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to tell you guys that I will be doing GTA 5 on this channel as a build up to GTA 6. I will not be doing GTA 6 on this channel until like way in the future, because I have a PS4. Obviously, I have a PS4. I do not have a PS5. At least not one that I can record on. And it's also not mine. It is my dad's. So, obviously, I'm not going to make content off of my dad's account because, you know, obvious reasons. I don't want to dox him and you guys think that it's me. And also, I want to have my own progress on games. So there's that. Also, my YouTube is not linked to the PS4, but yeah, I think later today there will be a Fortnite event that I will be making it to. I will try to make it because the issue is that this is a mini event, so I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So there's that. But I do plan on uploading a Walking Dead video today. And then after we finish off Season 3, I think I'm going to take a little bit off of The Walking Dead and then move on to doing GTA. Because if we're doing 1 hour episodes, it shouldn't take too long to finish GTA, but I don't know. But anyway, make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys, I guess, at the Fortnite event, if I can make it.